All right, welcome into the end of the 2011 season. We have finished 12-4, and we have a bye week in the first round of the playoffs. So let's go over a few things. First, I want to show you the standings for 2011, and then we'll go through some award winners and some stats. Let's start in the AFC. So the Kansas City Smoke won the AFC North, and the Bruns-Tucky Annexation are also going to the playoffs. Looks like the Fransburg PFC might be in the running for the first draft pick. AFC South, the Sioux City Scrids matching the Batavia Colliders at 12-4. And they're the only team from that division that's going to the playoffs. AFC East, DC Crabs and San Salvador Clickers both finished 10-6. Both are going to the playoffs. Strong division as every team finished 500 or better. And the AFC West, the only team going is the Tiki Pineapple Bikinis. They were matched by the Beachmasters, who must have lost a tiebreaker, and the Ampleman New Colon. They're also looking for that first pick in the draft. All right, now to the NFC. NFC North, we have two teams going, the Dingle Blowins and the North Point Kitens, both finishing at 10-6. And the other two teams finished 9-7, so that might be our strongest division. The Hawks finished with a 4-game winning streak, but it just wasn't enough, even with those teams ahead of them losing to close out the season. NFC South, that's our weak division, with the winning team being 500, the Sullivan's Island Silvertips. And look at the Dragons, only 191 points. That's the lowest I've seen so far, but I haven't been paying close attention. All right, NFC East, the Lumberjacks are going at 10-6. And look at the Tewstown Gim with 2 ties, 8-6 and 2. Just besting the Pirates, who are 7-7 and 2. A lot of ties in this division. And the most important division, the NFC West, the Colliders take it down easily with a 12-4 record, ending the season on a 5-game winning streak. The Bestine Banthas at 7-8-1 come in second. Cleveland Battery at 7-9 come in third. And the Fransburg Revolution come in last. Want to keep an eye on those teams, but we went 6-0 in the division. And so that's something to keep an eye on how they do moving forward. All right, so those are the standings. Now I'd like to take a look at the award winners. So I'm just going to stick with the NFL, and the MVP is Alan Nixon, running back from the Sioux City Scrids. Let's see what he did to take that down. 320 attempts, 1,344 yards, and 9 touchdowns. And added another 3 touchdowns through the air. So well-deserved by Alan Nixon. And we've got no colliders there. All right, let's look at offensive player. Alan Nixon takes that down as well. Jai Holiday comes in 5th place for offensive player of the year with 271 carries for 1,234 yards and 10 touchdowns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty nifty. Only 6 catches for 30 yards, not really doing it through the air. Defensive player goes to Jeffrey Wright, a left outside linebacker. And he had 154 tackles and 15 sacks. Oh my goodness. 2 interceptions. Yeah, well-deserved. Our top tackler had 62 tackles. I think that's a flaw in the system. Perhaps if I had longer quarters, I might be competing with that. Looks like he's hurt. Offensive rookie. These are going to be... This is interesting because Alan Nixon is also a rookie, but he was MVP and Offensive Player of the Year coming out of Minnesota. But Rashad Randall gets the Offensive Rookie. Curious. Defensive Rookie goes to Joshua Armstrong. Okay, again, not the same as the Defensive Player of the Year, even though they're all rookies. 147 tackles, 19 sacks. Oh my goodness. Okay, so interesting. Best quarterback, Devin Welch. We played against him and the Hollyhawks. So let's see what he did. What's the best quarterback have to do? 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,000 passing yards. So as we start drafting rookie quarterbacks that are more talented, we're going to start to see some improved quarterback play in this league. Best running back, Rashad Randall. Best wide receiver, Hosey Gee, or Hosey G. 91 catches, 1,328 yards, and 6 touchdowns for Hosey. Okay, the Scrids dominating offensive line by the looks of it. And there we go, our first collider. Sean Arnold is your best defensive lineman with 33 tackles and 11 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. So definitely not the most sacks. We saw some linebackers with tons of sacks. Najee Hobbs coming in second. Not bad. Let's see what he's got. 7 sacks on the year from the defensive tackle position. He had a lot of close ones, though, too. All right, best linebacker. Yeah, these guys. Jeffrey Wright, Cedric McKenzie, and so on. Elisha Wright is your best defensive back. He had 62 tackles to lead our team, 8 interceptions, including a 3 interception game, 1 touchdown. Okay, what's not showing is a bunch of passes defensed as well. Best kicker is for the Kansas City Smoke, Cooper Marcion. And Steven Adams is your coach of the year, edging out Amari Jenkins. Really don't understand what this overall is. So why is Jenkins a 100 overall? All these other guys are in the 70s. All right, so let's take a look at the Pro Bowl. See who's going from the colliders. So AFC, do we care? We sure don't. NFC, Devin Welch, Jason Hunt, and Connor Capone. We played against Welch and Capone. Jai Holiday is going as a running back. Let's see. Who else? Brad Gillespie, our tight end. He's going to the Pro Bowl. Let's take a look at his numbers. 56 catches, 1,023 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Oh, look at that. Not our guy. Different Cheeseboro. But Sean Arnold is going for defensive end. Najee Hobbs playing in the Pro Bowl at defensive tackle. DeMarcus Coleman, our corner. Elijah Wright, our safety. That's not surprising. He was the defensive back of the year. And that's it. Next thing I want to do is go through the playoffs. And I'm not planning on playing the playoff games. Not quite yet. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate those and keep track of what happens. Wow, 21-2 is the score for that one. Okay, next we have the Tewstown Gim at the Dingle Blow-ins. And that's a close one. The Blow-ins take it 23-20. Clickers at Smoke. And the Clickers going to take this one down 20-13. We beat the Silver Tips 21-3, but they dominate 33-7. Okay, so we get to host the Silver Tips. This is a rematch of a game that we played earlier this year when we beat them. And we won 21-3, so it was pretty handy victory. Let's see what happens in this round. The Silver Tips get revenge. And Amari Jenkins' season comes to an end. Silver Tips 20. Colliders 7. They were a paper tiger, it looks like. Okay, and we missed this one. Scrids beat the Bikinis 17-0. And the Clickers take it down 26-23. And the Lumberjacks win a high-scoring affair 35-31. And let's start with the AFC Championship, Clickers at Scrids. And the Clickers are going to the Super Bowl. The San Salvador Clickers win 21-16. And the Lumberjacks win a tight one, 12-10. All right, here's the Pro Bowl. The NFC won 38-28. Offensive showcase here. Let's see. Let's see how the NFC did. Quarterback play, not great. Jai Holiday with 187 yards in the Pro Bowl. Good for you, Jai Holiday. 2 touchdowns. Let's see. Brad Gillespie with 2 catches for 28 yards. He gets on the scorecard. All right. Parker Schnaufner with 3 tackles for loss. Cedric McKenzie with 2 sacks. Any interceptions? Ramon Cook. All right. L.C. Walters, that's the guy that picked us off in the end zone from the Banthas. There's Elijah Wright. What'd he do? Looks like maybe just a pass defense in there. Not too busy. Najee Hobbs. All right, so let's go to the Super Bowl. Clickers at Lumberjacks. And the Clickers are going to take it down. Your first Super Bowl winner is the San Salvador Clickers, defeating the Lynn County Lumberjacks 23-12. All right, we need to hire a scouting agency. So let's see. I assume all of these. Oh yeah, there's the prices. So it looks like the cheapest scouting agency has the most experience. Is that the only thing I know about? Why wouldn't I just take them? All right. We've hired a scouting agency. Let's take a look at stadium upgrades. I don't know if these actually do anything or not. Let's see. How about we go green and we get a rainwater catcher. VIP parking, that sounds like a good idea. Not green, but sounds like an easy way to make money. Looking for no cost maintenance. Alright, let's just leave it at that for now. Got a long franchise ahead of us. We don't need to relocate. 10 wins or a playoff appearance will get $3 million. 14 wins. Let's see, we finished 12-4. Does that just mean we need to do it once or every year? 14 wins next year. I'm guessing we get $12 million anytime we get to 14 wins, but let's start easy just in case we have a low draft pick and other teams are going to get better faster than us. All right. I don't think anyone's going to retire. No news. They're all rookies. Okay, looks like these two teams. Oh, wow. We have a injury retiring. Rough Riders center retired after 1 year due to a fractured vertebrae. This right outside linebacker for the Bounty Hunters is an oldster. All right. DeMarcus Coleman is a project player. EJ Foreman is injury prone. He did not seem particularly injury prone during the season. And neither did Brad Gillespie. Neither of these guys got hurt last year. Iron Man, Zach Pope, didn't get hurt. McLean is the QB of the future. This injury prone makes sense because he did miss the first half of the season. Dondre Coleman is our project player. That guy is not a return specialist. What? These roles make no sense. Okay. Let's see what happened to our division rivals. So we've got the Banthas. 3 guys designated injury prone. The Battery, their middle linebacker, got a good one. And Justice, I believe, had a pick 6 against us. Their punter is injury prone. How do you figure? All right, now we got to go all the way down to the Revolution. Benton Johnson is their QB of the future. Very similar to ours. All right. Here's what I've been waiting for. Player progression. Remember, player progression doesn't really make that much sense. It's not based on how they performed. It's based on their potential. All right, so. Wow, Greg McLean went up 8 points to an 82. So he's looking to get re-signed. Let's take a look at the important stats. You might have remembered in that last Banthas game, him missing wildly. Throw power is still only 90. Did any of these get better? I don't think any of the important stats got better. So I'm wondering, toughness of 61, injury of 67. Might not be the real QB of the future. Okay, this looks better. Short accuracy is improved. Okay, all of these improved. Okay, I think we might have to keep Greg McLean, at least as a bridge quarterback, until we can draft one. We'll probably not see a good one down where we're drafting this year. Okay, Josh Whitney also went up 3. Okay, Holiday went up 1. Got a little smarter, a little more agile, a little bit more of a burst. Carrying stat went up. I don't think he fumbled last year, so that was pretty good. Trucking, 83. All right, so Jai Holiday is probably our starter again, unless some first-round talent falls to us. Up 6 for Glenn Palmer. That's got to be mostly based on his special teams play. Okay, catching 74. Carrying is 80. Run blocking didn't improve. Okay, Antion Paradis goes up to a 72. My guy Tavares Mason with a 77 speed is up to a 69. Brendan Polk is up to a 69. Here's definitely a place we need to draft a receiver. Okay, no one is faster than 89. Larry Durham was injured for the whole year. Probably let him go. Okay, nothing too spectacular here. Melquan Potts went up 6. So agile with good acceleration, I just don't see it. But that catching stat going up 6 is helpful. My best route runner is Brendan Polk. Okay, Potts could make some moves here. Oh, look at that release. Potts only has 55 release. That's probably the biggest issue with him. And Mason with his 85 release is why he was always playing that slot, even though he was slow. Brad Gillespie does not improve. Jude Angus goes up 4. Here's a place to improve for sure. Tight end. No improvement for Zach Pope. Connor Stewart doing nothing, goes up 2. Bubba Hurst goes up 7 at left guard. Evan Gibson, who seemed to have a pretty good year, goes up 2. And Sequelin Keoadum is up to a 64. Derwin Reed, injured for most of the season. Bubba Hurst was playing center for most of that time. It's up to a 75. Sure, we can let that guy go. +5 for Eric McEwen. He's up to an 80. Kenneth Booth up to an 81. Dondre Coleman's our project player, so a couple of good options here at right tackle. Okay, Khalid Butler, who did not play, up to a 71. These are the guys who did play. So Sean Arnold, our sack leader, up to a 70, and James Hardaway has 92 awareness now, so that's going to be helpful. Wish he was a little faster, though. All right, Sherman Mosley becomes our best defensive tackle, leapfrogging Najee Hobbs. And these guys had pretty good growth despite not playing. Jamel Walker goes up 2. Montre Saint, who filled in quite capably, goes up to 69. And Jaquez Price had a nice season for us. He's our fastest linebacker, I think. 78 overall. And Tyree Anderson, who missed a bunch of time, goes up to a 77. His speed is still suspect, though. All right, Centennial Cheeseborough goes up 7. Look at the cornerback play here. Ramel McBride goes up 7. That's actually pretty interesting because he was a 70, and I think he had C potential. Maybe it was B potential. And Coleman goes up 6. Now with that speed for Coleman, that's why I moved him to our second corner spot. Javik O'Neal, you might remember, is just kind of being our hatchet man on special teams, kind of everywhere, just around doing stuff. Oh my goodness, look at Elijah Wright. He had the right stuff last year, if you know what I mean. So he's up to a 90, definitely our best player. And Preston Mahan with an 80 now. All right, so given that, Karma Fitzgerald only went up 1, and he's only got 78 speed, and he had his struggles. We could be seeing Preston Mahan or maybe even Carter Sullivan taking over for Fitzgerald, but I like to see what Mahan looks like at strong safety. Benton Cannon goes up 1, 99 awareness. What I really need is more kick power. So he goes up 2 kick power to 87. Okay, not great, but better. And then Brennan Vaughn, despite being busy, has not improved at all. His kick power is also 87. And so that's our player progression. Love this for Elisha Wright. Oh, I guess one thing we didn't do was take a look at the stats. So let's do that quickly. All right, let's look at our NFL leaders, and then we'll go into the colliders. But you can always look at the colliders on the website. All right, so Joshua Peebles is your highest rated quarterback at only 85.3. Most yards goes to Devin Welch, the only quarterback in the league to go over 3,000 yards. Most touchdown passes, 21. So Jason Hunt, a talented rookie quarterback, could probably eclipse that. And Benton Johnson threw the most interceptions. I had 2 guys with 9 though, so. Longest pass was 90 yards. That was against me. Taylor Mills got sacked the most. Most completions, Derek Hunt of the Bees. Most attempts, Justin Allen of the Battery. Highest completion percentage is only 61%. Average per attempt, your guy, Orlin Hamilton with 8.4. Not a lot of attempts, though. Played sparingly. Greg McLean's at 6.3. Average yards per game, Devin Welch, less than 200. So this is like playing football 100 years ago. All right, your rushing leaders. Looks like Rashad Randall with 1,460 yards is your rushing leader. And Jai Holiday's up there with 1,234. Best average is Shaquille Banks. Holiday has the 3rd best average at 4.5. Pretty realistic. Most touchdowns, Darius Childs. Holiday makes the top 4 with double-digit touchdowns. Rashad Randall with 91 yards a game. And Lennox Willis, a fumbleino with 12 on the year. 47 broken tackles for Keyshawn Kelly from the Kensington Dragons. All right, let's see. Longest run, a 99-yarder for Jabri Thomas. Alan Nixon hit a 98-yarder. Okay. How about receiver? 93 receptions leads the way. Tyler Campbell. The Carolina Reapers. Hosey Gee with 1,328 yards. Only, 5 receivers eclipsed 1,000 yards on the season. Making Brad Gillespie, the tight end, one of the top receivers in the league. He led the way with average yards per reception by a long shot. Yards per game goes to Hosey. And 8 touchdowns is our top spot. Hosey G had 23 drops. My goodness. 90-yarder for Darren Foster, the tight end. Remember that game? He had 2 catches for 120 yards against me. All right. 20 pancakes. I think our leader had 1. 13 sacks given up. We also did not give up a lot of sacks. Okay, total tackles is where we're never going to keep up, 160. TFLs, though, Sean Arnold playing on the other side of the line. Najee Hobbs is in there. 19 sacks. Okay, we saw these already, but that's crazy impressive. Sean Arnold with 11. 8 interceptions leads the way. Good job, Elijah Wright. Jaquez Price leading the way in interception yards. Partly because of that 94-yard interception return. Oh man, that was so glorious. Jarrell Whiteside has the most deflections. That's one, you know, I feel like I should be able to be among the leaders in, but apparently not. 5 forced fumbles for Wendell Keys. 6 recoveries. Oh, that's a wide receiver. Okay. Okay, some blocks. Uche Cole, one of our nemesises. Nemesi. And we've got one of these. Jaquez Price with a safety, baby. Okay, 2 touchdowns. Jaquez Price tied for the lead. Janeo Hopkins did one of those against us. Okay, 39 field goals made. 93% was the high. 31 extra points made. Does that mean I did not score as many touchdowns? We only had 27, so we were not leading the way in touchdowns. A couple guys had extra points blocked. Really? That can't be right. He's the only guy that had touchbacks. Okay, Brendan Vaughn. Leading the way in punting average. Guess he qualified. I don't think I've ever had 44 punts in a season before. Marcus Carrington, a bunch of touchdowns, none for me. Wow. Quite a few punt return touchdowns. All right, now it's time to re-sign players. And let's go by position. Okay, so both of these guys need to be re-signed, or at least one of them does. I have Orland Hamilton on the squad. I think he's a C overall. I should probably get McLean to be our starter. And then maybe I'll draft a guy. Do we want to just go 2 years? Let's just go 2 years. He did not play that well. 7 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Sorry, try again. You try again. How about if I give you no bonus? What? Okay. If you insist. All right. Josh Whitney, no. 75 speed running back, no. Oh, kind of like Tavares Mason, despite him being slow. I know I can do better, but he is currently my best route runner. So let's keep him on maybe just 1 more year. The price is right. Don't want Durham. Don't really need Corey Reese. If those guys are still there and I need to sign someone, then I will. Okay, Bubba Hurst, you are definitely coming back. Yeah, you look like you're ready to take that next step. Bro, these are your terms. What are you talking about? Okay, I must not be understanding the bonus that well. Isn't the bonus part guaranteed? Why would they accept a lower bonus? Alright, let's keep him as well. Now you're very confusing. Okay, let's see if you want a bonus. Would love a little guidance, my guy. Okay, just more cash. Okay, I don't need Chapman. Maybe I'll sign both of these because the second one is an A potential. So if we get him for 2 years, and maybe the other guy for 3 years. He could potentially take over for him. Jared Benson. I feel like I don't need you. Do I need you? I don't think I need you. Jimmer and Glover, you're at 70 speed. We're going to let you go. Eugh. So I need a right outside linebacker. Let's bring Tyree back. I would love to get one in the draft. Jermarcus Strong. B potential. DeMarcus Coleman, you're my project player. You're my fast corner, so you're definitely coming back. Jacques Wilkerson, you've got good speed. Let's keep you as a depth piece. Preston, you might be taking over at safety. Strong safety. Whew. Are we going to let Karma go? He was not great. Let's sign Carter Sullivan. He's got potential of A. This is as good as Karma's going to get. Let's give him 1 year. All right, we are at Combine Scouting, and according to this thing I read online, you should only be scouting halfbacks, wide receivers, and linebackers at this stage. So these are, let's go to all. And I think there's some kind of glitch with these projected round zeros. So we have Ronald Whitmore. say projected first rounder. Let's see, I can get 20 guys here, so let's get maybe, let's see, 5 here. Wide receiver is where I'd really like to improve. And it's so interesting that they think Eric Red is only a 54 overall. 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's take a look at some linebackers. I don't think we need a left outside linebacker because we have an 88 there. Our middle linebacker is pretty good, but he's maybe a 78. Although it looks like we don't have a lot of necessarily talent in this draft. How about Roll? We're trying to replace Tyree Anderson. This might be a better place to look. And maybe we'll go Jackson there. It says that we should be able to get in this stage speed, strength, agility, acceleration, jump, and injury. So maybe we should take a look at some corners for that speed stat. I'm guessing we're going to miss out on most of these. And also, let's throw in some tight ends. I got 2 left. Let's go tight end. See if any of these guys are fast. All right, let's see what we've got here. All right, so if we take a look at these running backs we scouted, none of them are very fast. So all of these projected first and second rounders have speed that is sub 90, agility that's sub 90. A couple guys with decent acceleration. Julian Robertson is negative for acceleration. Don't want anything to do with that. Nothing about trucking. A few of these guys I have some information on spin moves. I don't know why I didn't get it for all of them, unless I scouted some of them earlier with just some extra positions I had. All right, so not a stellar running back class by the looks of it. Let's take a look at the wide receivers where we could really use some speed. And there's a little bit more speed here. So Jerome Gray is really slow, more along the lines of what I already have. But Morgan Montoya is fast, but it says negative acceleration. Only 80 acceleration. I don't think that does much for us. So let's take a look. Although any of these guys falling to us would probably be a benefit and an improvement over what we have. I do like this 93 acceleration. Brent Lawrence looks like a good player. He's projected to be in round 1. I don't think we're going to see him. All right, I did take a look at a couple tight ends. Speed's not stellar. 82 is okay. And let's take a look at the linebackers. All right, so TJ Jefferson's got 88 speed. You love to see that. Strength 76. Oh, acceleration's very poor. 78 speed with 94 acceleration. Not the best combo either. Love that acceleration. So maybe Andy Smith has our best combination, even though he's negative for speed. See if we get anything else from these guys. Doesn't look like it. So if we go forward, the next stage is free agent bidding. We're not going to take part in this. All right, the pro days are when we're supposed to look at quarterbacks, maybe defensive line, and finish scouting on any linebackers or defensive backs. So let's go to the pro days. And let's look at some quarterbacks. Okay, Freddie Hicks, Randall White, Hank Harvey, DeMarcus Thomas. Lots of guys slated for the first round. And then there's a big fall off here. So Josiah Reed from Texas A&M. Jason Allen, we want to keep tabs on. He was the Heisman Trophy winner out of Ohio State in our Eastern Michigan dynasty. So we're going to keep track of Heisman winners. And I don't know if we want to do any more than that. Chris Robinson out of Notre Dame. See if I remember any of these guys being awesome in college. Let's maybe look at just a couple more tight ends. I'd love to get a replacement tight end who's actually good. And then I imagine having a left end with speed would be nice. Probably going to take some of those off and replace with some defensive tackles, though I'm pretty pleased with Sherman Mosley leapfrogging Najee Hobbs and Hobbs still being decent. Okay, let's take off maybe 3 of those guys. This guy's number is 6 coming out of Florida. He seems like a beast. I wonder if it would be worth it to take a look at Travis Thomas, who's projected late. He might be a little bit of a sleeper. Let's just see. All right, let's see what we've got. Okay, 4 quarterbacks. 91, 81. Oh, not going to give us deep accuracy, huh? Okay, be that way. 90, 81, 92, 83. Freddie Hicks has the biggest arm so far at 93. Jason Allen only has 56 for throw accuracy. My guy was the Heisman Trophy winner. He cannot throw. To see where he ends up, because he's not going to end up with me. All right. Let's take a look at those tight ends. Okay, so we did not get speed for these guys. What did we get? Ball carrier vision. Release. 73 release is not bad. Any blocking? There we go. We got some blocking action. Peter Wilson's a pretty good blocker. This I don't know what this means. Julian Weaver's not a good blocker. And stamina, helpful. All right. See what we got with our left ends. Okay, no speed. Pursuit. Okay, not the best for those guys. Hit power. Brandon Kelly can lay a hit on people. All right, right ends. Okay, pursuit. Some hit power. No speed given. How about my defensive tackles? What are they going to tell me about them? They'll tell me hit power, but not block shedding. Pursuit, 81 pursuit is nice. All about how well they are at blocking. Okay. Alright, this is that diamond in the rough guy, maybe. Let's see. What do we know about you, Travis Thomas? You're old for a rookie. 67 catch, 41 catch in traffic. Man coverage needs some work. Finesse moves. Power moves. You're not that good, man. Did I do anything else with these corners? I don't think I did. All right, the individual workout will give you, I believe, all of the ratings for a guy. All right, I want to go to all players. Sort by potential. Let's see if there's any guys that, like, this guy's a left guard who they think is the second round, but he's in with all these first rounders. I'd love to see like a guy way up here that's like a 6th or 7th rounder, like that. This one right here. See, Travis Thomas, I'm so curious about him. Let's do it. Let's see if he's a guy worth trying to find later. All right, so realistically, what am I gonna get? Like, I'd love to find a late guy with speed. Stephen Todd is number 1. He's out of Ohio State. How about my wideouts? Okay, these guys that have 6th round projections. Dave Williams has good pedigree from Alabama. Scott Lynch looks like Preston Mahan's twin brother. I wonder if Brent Baldwin might be worth a end of the first round pick. I know I don't really necessarily need a middle linebacker. Maybe strong safety is where I should be looking. Let's assume all these guys go. What's a Howard Ryan look like? Potentially. All right, let's see what I know. Okay, we know Stephen Todd is a 76 with 87 speed. 91 acceleration, so that's not too bad. 86 awareness is good. So he would come in and he would be, got B potential. He's kind of like another Jai Holiday. Oh, Dave Williams is just a 69. Okay, so that's C potential. We're gonna steer clear, I think. Okay, Brent Baldwin, the second rounder, is a 79 with B potential, 83 speed. That's not bad. '79 power move, 77, 80. This guy's pretty good, Brent Baldwin. With B potential, I think that's higher than Jaquez Price, who I think has C potential. Travis Thomas not getting any better. Not much better, anyway. Okay, Howard Ryan, this second rounder with 78 with B potential. 88 speed, I like that. We've got a couple of guys we could maybe look for. 51 catch is not great. Okay, how's his coverage? Mid. Don't know I have all these kickers. Must have had some extra time in the regular season. Alright, who are the 5 that I know? The strong safeties, B potential. This middle linebacker's B potential. This halfback is B potential. Maybe if he could slip to the second round. These guys I don't think I want to bother with. Alright, that's going to take us to the draft. Okay, let's take a look at the draft order. The PFC did end up getting the first pick. And then the New Colon, Dream Team, Dragons. Okay, so the Revolution are up there with the 5th pick. So they'll be looking to improve right away. Battery with the 12th pick. Banthas with the 13th pick. And then we're coming in with the 28th pick. All right. Let's do this thing. Okay, we can see just a few of the attributes there for guys that are available. Okay, a pick was made, and I think it was that quarterback. Wish they showed that a little better. So the first pick in the draft, going to the PFC, it's going to be Randall White. Okay, so Alexander Williams, that defensive tackle, is a top 5 projection who's still available. Do you think he's a bust? Why is he falling with a top 5 designation? He's coming out of Florida. I have good free safety already in Elijah Wright. I don't need his little brother, Jason. Let's see what QBs are available. All of the first-round quarterbacks are gone. Jason Allen. Yeah, I'm going to steer clear of a quarterback, at least this early. How about our running backs? Okay, Julian Robertson's got 88 speed. Stephen Todd from Ohio State said might be pretty decent. Okay, how about wide receiver? So we got two guys. That might be it right there. Morgan Montoya. 94 speed, 91 acceleration. We don't know if he can catch, but already those attributes are good. I think we're going to have to go with that wide receiver. Let's go Morgan Montoya. He is pick number 28. He's our newest player out of Washington. The Brunstucky annexation trade down. Okay, Alexander Williams, you must be terrible. There's something wrong with you. I might have to take a chance on that guy. 6'3", 302. Why does that guy have such good press coverage as a defensive tackle? A lot of defensive tackle talent here. All right, let's pull the trigger on Alexander Williams. Jason Allen is still there. Josiah Reed is better. All right, time to get the tight end before they're all out. Ron Lewis. And I think we want to try to get that middle linebacker if he's still there. Okay, our quarterback play was dismal, so let's get someone in the quarterback room. Okay, Myron Vincent has 86 pass block and 83 run block. Not bad for the end of the 6th round. Let's see if he can give Benton Cannon a run for his money. All right, here are the draft grades, and that's how everyone did. And we are the worst team with a D+. So hanging out with the dream team. So that's neat. All right, let's take a look at the draft recap. And I really want to point out the second pick in the draft. The Ampleman Nukolin picked a punter at number 2 overall. This guy better be the best punter in the history of the world. But we can expect the Nukolin to continue to be a very bad team, and they should be picking in the top 2 again next year. Michael McBride goes to the dream team. Freddie Hicks, another quarterback, so we have a quarterback 1st and 4th. And then Andy Smith, that's going to be someone that we'll be squaring up against twice a year for the Revolution. All right, so let's take a look at our rivals. Here are the Bestine Banthas. They started out with a strong safety. Peter Johnson, a left end. Jay Thompson, 5'9" halfback out of Boise State. Victor Johnson, also from Boise State. And here's your Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Jason Allen from Ohio State. Pretty decent arm strength, not amazing. But remember, he had terrible accuracy. He goes in the 5th round. We'll have to see if he ever gets on the field. Chris Robinson, another quarterback. And then Otis Moss. So the Banthas were just throwing a bunch of darts at the wall, hoping that one of these 3 quarterbacks actually can play pretty well and be decent. So Cody Mills should be shaking in his boots. Now let's take a look at the battery. We got a left tackle from Oklahoma with their first pick, Chad Adams. Seems like a solid way to build a team. Start with your anchor on the line. Stephen Todd, that running back out of Ohio State that we had our eye on, he's going to go to the Battery in the second round. Jerome Gray out of Oklahoma, wide receiver. Zach Manning, left guard out of TCU. Oliver Anderson, a right tackle, and then a right guard. So they have really totally rebuilt this line. Seth Lynch out of Oregon. So their offensive line was definitely addressed. And a couple more running backs, Bobby Hefner, Bernard McKeon. All right, let's go to the Revolution. They took a right outside linebacker with the 5th pick overall. They're focused on defense from the looks of it. Raymond Jones, a strong safety out of Stanford. Eastern Michigan played against them. Don't recall Raymond Jones, but I'm sure he dominated us. Peter Wilson, the tight end out of Michigan. Jake Lewis from South Carolina. South Carolina may have been the national champion. Tim White, a middle linebacker from Texas A&M. And then they went with 2 right guards. So we'll see which one of these guys sticks. Chris Washington and Brian Wright. And now let's look at the colliders. So with our first pick, not picking until number 28, so obviously the worst in the division in terms of draft capital, we got Morgan Montoya. The people who rated our draft did not like that. Then this defensive tackle, Alexander Williams, was projected to be a top 5. We got him 60th. So either there's some big suspension coming his way, maybe he's on drugs, who knows. But if he's as good as advertised, then that could be the steal of the century. Then we wanted to get a tight end to challenge Brad Gillespie. While we appreciated Gillespie leading our team in receptions and yards, he also led the team in drops and was not very fast. Travis Thomas, we knew what we were getting with him. A solid backup middle linebacker. Josiah Reed is going to be our developmental quarterback. See what he can do, getting him in the 5th round. Myron Vinson, we felt like was a steal at left tackle out of Penn State, getting him in the 6th round. And then with no one really left, we got a kicker projected for the 1st round. So we held off on the kicker, unlike the New Colin, who took a punter number 2 overall, being blinded by those 1st round projections. All right, that's going to do it for the 2011 Batavia Colliders franchise. Now switch on back to the Eastern Michigan Dynasty to see what 2012 has in store.